Hey Bob, how are you?
It's Tuesday.
TNT Tuesday.
Tuesday. I'm doing all right. So.
On this windy,
Oh my God.
oh,
You should be out at manufacturing.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Don't even bother with a hat because it is heavy for Nebraska. Right? Freaking out.
listening to that office all day.
So, springtime in the Rockies keeps the week going.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, we have a customer that's leaving because it's too windy.
So, we're going to recap our latest Gladiator build and refresh. We built it a while ago. Pat brought it back up for a few odds and ends.
There. Take two.
All right, we're back. And maybe we'll do some magic later. So, it's TNT Tuesday, 30th of April. Quick recap. We're recapping Pat's Jeep. So, we added the A-pillar mounts. They're
You
Mopar.
gotta speak up.
Mopar, you want me to scream? They're Mopar issue. I tend to like them because they put the lights a little farther outboard than the ones that mount up here to the hinges or whatever. The reason I like that, it gives me a spot to put an antenna. So we added a GRMS radio to this Jeep, so Pat has communications when we're out dinking around. Instead of my typical 4-foot steel whip, we decided to try one of these little shorty deals. It works good on GRMS because Midland put a shunt in that antenna. So I'm going to have to either unshunt it or get a different antenna because it only works for GRMS channels, which for the most part is all you need. But we did put a Beotech UX something or other 50, so it's a 50-watt radio, UHF, VHF, reach out and touch somebody. It is a very nice radio. We use them quite often, but that antenna is limiting a few of the frequencies. Not the end of the world. It works. I'll probably give Pat a 4-foot, so he does have big antenna if he's out in the middle of nowhere and needs to jump on a repeater and call for help. But for day-to-day normal trail use, this little shorty works pretty good. We were testing with David. David lives, as a crow flies, a mile and a quarter-ish. Clear as a bell. So, we added a WeBoost cell phone booster dealio. So that's made a little bracket. It's up there on the area topper. Pat's pretty important, CEO of his company, so people like to call him and bother him, so he wanted better comms. So now he has them. What else did we do?
We did some reels where we showed Nick's the ARB.
Yeah,
air up.
It's going to be impossible to see that, so check out our old reels if they're still available. Or
Yep, they're on
wherever.
Facebook.
We mounted a twin ARB compressor in the bed, so it's out of the way. Don't really have to listen to it if you're running it. And then not really the prototype because I've done several of these, but actually the first operational, because mine's installed but not finished. So we have our air system valve here open if the compressor's on. Now we're applying air to the chassis. There's a little pickup point down here. You can see it or not.
Yep.
Little short hose comes from here to the tire. All 4 corners, you're airing all 4 tires up. You want to air down, shut the input off, open the exhaust with the 4 whips up top. Now check to see what tire pressure, then you need a tire pressure gauge. Want to know what the tire pressure is? Shut the valve off. When the system stabilizes, the gauge will read what's in the system, i.e. what's in your tires. You want to air down more, open the valve. Oops, I went too far. Turn the compressor on, air back up. Oh, there it is. Take all your things off, roll them up, stick them under the seat, and away you go. So, pretty slick. We added the volt switch panel. The last go around, we make this mount if anyone is interested. It is a one-off piece, but Jason and I have a file, we can whip one up another time. We made this bracket that sits over top of your battery and gives you a place to mount accessory power. Instead of just keep stacking more and more stuff on your battery terminals, now you can run one heavy wire from here to the terminal, mount all your accessories here with fuses. We put a 4-circuit one in this. I think mine has an 8. This guy's a 1. There's all kinds, and this panel is big enough. Mount whatever you want to mount. We also use a big, I forget the technical term for these big fuses, but they're you know, if you're gonna have a high power load, like a twin air-B compressor, the little blade style fuses can't get a fuse big enough, and even if you could, it wouldn't work. So you can purchase these as well in multiple places. I have a whole stack of them. They gang together nice, so everything's all laid out. But this panel will give you options to do some of those things. Keep clutter, make servicing the battery a lot easier in the future if you needed to. What else do we have? Oh, the biggest thing, Tammy's gonna have to go that way and go that way. We had our bumper and skid plate. That's been on it from the first time we built it. I put these rock lights in mine. Pat thought that was a good idea, which they really are. We actually used them on this last trip.
Battery power mode, so talk fast.
So it,
We might go dead.
These little spots from KC highlights down here, they're really bright, but since they're below the bumper and at an angle, they point down here, they don't blind the guy on the ground trying to spot, so they work really slick. I know it's hard to see, but back in here, you can see through the 3 vents, we added an auxiliary oil cooler. I think that's a bulletproof diesel. They make a lot of cool parts for various diesels. They're experimenting with a few things on the 3-liter eco diesel. One problem with, if anybody has an eco diesel, you've probably had it overheat or derate because it is overheating. Part of that issue is something that really can't be solved. The grill and airflow is not enough for this engine. The other part of that is everything is water cooled. Oil, tranny, fluid, EGR is water cooled. I don't know what engineer ever thought that was a good idea, dumping 1400 degree exhaust into your cooling system. But that's your government and modern diesels. So to help a little bit, we have this auxiliary cooler. The engine oil is water cooled, so we added another radiator in the water line to help dissipate some heat before it dumps it into the radiator to compete with EGR, tranny fluid, etc., etc. That's all water cooled. It works slick. since I've done mine, I've had mine on, I don't know, last fall sometime, September, I think I put it on, late August, September, whatever. I dropped 30 to 35 degrees of oil temp, which is 15 to 20 degrees of water temp. I can run up any pass I want now as hard as I want in the throttle, and it doesn't overheat and derate. So we're gonna pitch this to Bulletproof, see if they're interested. They make this kit for your Jeep. It's all in a box, you just put it on. The caveat is it only fits on a non-winch factory bumper. And it hides way back under here where it gets no airflow. If you have a winch, it's not going where they thought it was going to go. So I made brackets to mount it down here in our skid plate where it gets a little ram air because of the shape of the skid plate and the air vent holes that I'd already cut in there. It works slick. So if you have a diesel that has a heating problem, give us a call. It will cost you an Expedition Series bumper, which is not a cheap bumper, but it's better than mounting your truck down. It's a recessed winch, has an independent winch tray, a separate shell, comes with the Baja design lights. You can get them in amber or clear. I prefer amber because it snows here and we run in dust. Amber's for that. Skid plate is included, and if you ask nicely, I'll throw in a set of brackets to mount the Bulletproof cooler. So, other than that, Billy Pets is ready to go. Now we just got to get him off of his busy travel schedule so we can actually take it out in the weeds and see what it does.
He's watching, so he heard. Okay.
So, get some time, leave the phone at home, and let's go. So, he's a busy guy, but maybe in the fall, it's getting to be almost too hot to head down to the places I'd really like to take back, which is Canyonlands, Maze, and
Oh,
District.
yeah.
It's starting to get a little toasty down there, so you got till fall. Find me a week in mid-October. So, now you have a mission.
All right.
Other than that, that's all I got this week.
Yeah, I failed again. I'm fired again because my battery's dying, right?
So, if you got a minute, we'll go see if
Oh, it's running.
Ben's and
Let's
the
go.
CJ is running.
You did it.
It works.
What did we do?
We put a sniper EFI system on it.
Good.
Yeah, big improvement.
CJ8. 7.
258 for all of you that don't know what came in a CJ. Predecessor to a 400.
And then
Totally smogged out 80s stuff.
I got vacuum lines open everywhere, so we're fired right up.
Cool.
We're in good shape.
We're getting steering on Ben's. Ben is out there watching.
I thought, I don't know, I don't remember if I saw him.
Actually, they're gonna main fucking manifold package.
Yeah, I know it's always tight when I'm buying truck covers. So, yeah, Ben. Oh, I sent him a sneak picture. Maybe you can show him a little better video if he's watching.
This.
No, the rear axle, the sway bar. It has one of our axle mounted sway bar systems. The bar is not in it. No, but the mounts and the tube is there. So the arm, if you can visualize it. I don't know if you can even see it, but my water jug is kind of the arm that will move like this on the end of the tubing. It's out of the way. There's a lot going on back here, so there's not really any other good place to put the sway bar. And this works really slick. We've done a bunch of them like this recently. So.
Looking good.
New rear springs are on order, and we didn't have nothing in the building heavy enough to hold up this portly girl. She's got a big butt.
Ain't no lie. All right, signing off.
Yep, see you guys next week. I don't think we're here on May Day. That's what, Thursday, isn't it? First thing.
Tomorrow's May Day.
Tomorrow's May Day. Yeah.
May 6th.
Pay attention. May Day's probably appropriate. Your government's doing some really stupid shit. On that subject, we'll close out for today.